Hi everybody, welcome back to 100% Mag. So I know I'm a little bit late at the party on this one. Of course, yesterday Newcastle United released a statement on the club website, and it was an update, of course, on the takeover process at the club and what was happening, of course, with that. And it was an update on the High Court judgment, and that was, of course, Newcastle putting towards the judge of the High Court judgment that, of course, the chairman of the arbitration panel had dealings with the Premier League in the past. Most importantly, of course, back in 2017, where he gave advice and amendments on the owners and directors test for the Premier League, in which he put in a rule to them to say that no foreign owners involved in alleged broadcasting piracy were able to pass the test, which of course afterwards that advice was given, the rules were changed to put that into effect. And of course that is one of the reasons why Newcastle trying to go through the arbitration to get this takeover done by PIF. And of course, that chairman of the arbitration panel has worked previously over the last 3 years or so on 12 arbitrary cases for Bird and Bird. So he's quite familiar with them. So the club were saying that on the apparent grounds of him being biased, they wanted him to be took off the decision making, which of course the judge ruled against that and said that he was okay and fair to be on the panel as long as he wasn't going to be biased. And now all the pressure's on him, that to not be biased towards the Premier League, because now everybody knows that he has had dealings with the Premier League. And of course, BN, they put towards a public letter towards the Premier League clubs back in April of 2020, asking for them to strictly apply the O&D test to prevent the Saudi sovereign wealth fund of PIF, as we all know, from being able to take over, because they were saying that they were involved in broadcasting piracy, which we all know that's not the case. There is no broadcasting piracy by the Saudis, because that's not a thing with them, and they've proved that there is no broadcasting piracy of theirs in effect. And either way you look at it, if you put it in layman's terms, basically it's like the game hasn't kicked off yet, between the two sides, and it's pretty much a draw at the moment. The Premier League's won in the fact that they've gotten to keep their guy that is biased towards them on the panel, but now everybody knows that he's biased towards them. So, if he is biased towards them in the decision making, then it's just going to be blatantly obvious for everybody involved and everybody to know that he has deliberately allowed the Premier League to win, let's say. But on the other hand, we've shown that this guy is biased towards the Premier League, and we've gotten it out there straight away out the gate, instead of complaining come the end of the arbitration case and saying, well, this guy was biased towards and other clubs or other people coming out and saying, well, you're just saying it because you lost the arbitration case, which hopefully that isn't the case down the line, that we don't want to lose this arbitration case, because this is a chance to get this takeover through the door. And Mike Ashley even came out himself, and says us Geordies have won the lottery, and the Premier League are failing to pay out the winnings. And he's right on the money with that, because that is basically what it is. We've won the jackpot here in a big massive takeover by PIF, and the Premier League are failing and deliberately don't want to pay out this big jackpot win to us Geordies. And to be honest, we really deserved to get this payout because the past 14 years under Mike Ashley and these past 15 months waiting for this takeover to happen has been absolutely horrible, especially when you look at things coming out in the headlines, of Steve Bruce going face to face with Matt Ritchie in the training ground, saying what you're going to do, go tell Lee Charnley. You know, it's just absolutely pathetic and unprofessional. And that's exactly what Steve Bruce is, though. He's unprofessional. He shouldn't be here. He shouldn't be at a club of our stature. And that's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say about that whole situation with Steve Bruce. It's just completely and utterly unprofessional. Shouldn't be happening at a club of our stature. And fair enough, he said in the press conference, people get heated. Fair enough, they do get heated. But at the end of the day, you're the manager, Bruce, So you've got to look and be above the rest. You've got to be the leader in that dressing room. You're the guy that all them players are supposed to look up to. I say that without trying to laugh because it's laughable, thinking that he's the guy that everybody has to look up to on a difficult situation like this, what we're going into. And we've got probably one of the biggest games coming up tomorrow against West Brom. We've got to try and win in that game. It's a must-win game in my opinion. And it's also my birthday as well tomorrow, so I'm hoping for the win even more so because of it being my birthday, and I really don't want the lads going out there and performing absolute crap. You just don't want to say that. But I thought I'd get out there tonight to talk about, of course, club update on the arbitration, how it's going along, and another laugher about that, as well as the fact that I think it was only just a couple of days ago, Luke Edwards was coming out and saying that arbitration had been paused and everything was on hold, and he has the Premier League saying no comment on their side of things. He has Newcastle United coming out with a club statement talking about arbitration, and he has Luke Edwards, before that saying there's no arbitration. It's on hold, and that just shows how credible his journalism is. But let us know your thoughts anyway down in the comments below. Hopefully we get the win tomorrow against West Brom. However, lads, remember to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all later.